you had, and I'm like, it's so late. I have to drive home after this. Oh my God, where is her ride? And Caroline can get really intense about things and really upset about stuff, but in a crisis,
you have to do something.
No, in a crisis, she's really good. Okay? Like, it's the little stuff that gets to her. The big stuff, she just keeps doing it till it works. And so she and I have had a few different stories like that where she's worked things out, I've worked things out, and they haven't worked out. And we have to figure it out, And when the self-advocacy president 6-7 months ago just sort of fell off the face of the earth and didn't tell anybody, she stepped in. And she's had to do a lot. That group's 35 to 45 members.
Wow.
And yeah. And they're not independent. Even close. So it's a lot of
Challenge.
Yeah. It's a lot of people pulling her in a bunch of different directions. And she hasn't even complained about it. Now, she might complain at home, but she hasn't complained to me about it. She's just taking care of it, which is awesome, And she recently moved into her own place again, which is a lot of responsibility. And we'll cross our fingers that it works better this time, because it's hard when you're dealing with money. But her mom is helping in terms of the money part, which I think will be good. But, when you're having to take care of things yourself, it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're going to the self-advocacy group and stuff, ask her if there's anything you can help her with, because she could use that little extra support. And I'm just really proud that you have stepped up and done what it takes. You're awesome. Now, Russell, I met him years ago, and I met him one time, and he was in a wheelchair. I met him another time, he wasn't. I met him another time, and he was leaning on the wheelchair, walking with it. And another time, he was in the wheelchair. And I'm like,
what's the deal here?
What's the deal? And Russell was good enough to explain to me that depending on the day, he can get up and move, or he can't.
Some days I can't.
And I was like, how the heck do you work out the details of your life when you don't know, are you going to be rolling there or walking or leaning and walking? I mean, that's a lot to navigate. And it really made me think about each day's what am I going to deal with today? Very hard though for people to understand the kind of support that he might need, because different days he needs different stuff. And I thought that is going to be so hard, because you have to explain that to people. And, some people don't get it.
No, they don't. They don't understand. They're going, oh, you just want wheels to just get around easier more.
Yeah.
If I could throw my wheels away and use my legs, I would.
Exactly.
I would just say, okay, you want the wheelchair? Here's the wheelchair for free.
Yeah.
But it's not controllable.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's not controllable.
And that's when you realize just how much some people have to adapt to their health, to life, to different things. And it's really impressive. The Boy Scouts, the volunteering at the camp, all of the things that he does that are very physical and helping other people and himself.
I even volunteer at the church where I used to go towards, and then I go every Wednesday, but some Wednesdays there's something gets in the way, and I have to take care of the important stuff first, because volunteering is volunteering is not really important. I met a friend down there. It's important, but it's not what you call.
I hear you.
A page and I met a friend down there. It's my mom's friend. Went to school.
Oh, that's cool.
And she goes, you know this person? You know her? I'm going, yeah, that's my mom.
Again, it's a small world, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, do you know this guy? I go, that's my father. She hasn't touched me in for a long time, she didn't even know she had a kid.
Oh, that's so funny. It's a
She
small
moved
world.
out. She moved out of Burbank, and I was doing Burbank, and then she hasn't contacted my mom, and I called my mom up, and I got somebody to talk towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Hand her the phone, and she hasn't been talked to her for 35 years.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, it's a lot. This is a big deal, and I want to thank you all. The flowers came from my sister in Iowa who couldn't be here. But as you know, I have a wonderful sister. I've got some wonderful nieces, a few nephews too. They're good guys. They just don't keep them close as that they should. And some of you also know that a little over a year ago I lost my brother. Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have told you. Yeah, my brother had Downs. He was 37 when he passed away, and it was hard. It's still hard. It's not going to not be hard. Anytime there's a party, a holiday, all that stuff, you know, that's the cool thing. And those
Merry
of you,
Christmas.
yeah, and those of you who knew him through me, you know, it's very, very hard, you know. I was 17 when he was born, and, you know, he was there my adult life, right? Part of doing everything was figuring out what could help Stephen, because Stephen had a lot of challenges. You know, he always loved seeing me, but that did not stop him from hitting me, throwing things at me, or all the other stuff, because he had some problems. Frustration was one of them. Not being able to communicate very well was another. But every single time I saw him, he loved seeing me, and he lit up, and I was wonderful for at least 2 minutes. And then what did I bring? And it had to be a treat, because when I brought things like carrot sticks and ranch dip and grapes, I swear to God, he looked at it. No! And I said, well, you love ranch dip. You love grapes. I thought I'd bring something healthy. He looked at me. No! Go, okay. And he takes the plate and he throws it across. And we were at a park, thank you, Lord, scattered everywhere. And he goes, cake? Go, no, I didn't bring cake. Cookie? No, I didn't bring cookie. Juice? Yes, I brought juice. Okay. I call my sister and I go, okay, I am never bringing healthy food to him again. I am obviously the treat lady. That is all I get to bring. And my sister starts laughing and she goes, well, my God, since he was a year old, you always brought him something homemade or some kind of treat, and now you're trying to do healthy on him? He is not ready for that. He's never going to be. Deal with it. I go, okay. But as we've been eating and everything, one of the things I want to let you know, which is an important lesson for me and everyone, is my brother ended up choking to death. That's how he died. He was at his day program. He had a one-to-one staff that we fought for to get that person. And the staff person was getting the food ready, and Stephen was here. The food was there. The staff person turned to walk over here to get a drink. Stephen did a 1-4 lunge and then couldn't breathe. By the time the staff person turned around and started organizing the food, Stephen could not talk or cough or anything. The food actually went down not just his throat, but the other little what's it called? Esophagus. So it got stuck in both spots. And he took a big handful. And it was a hamburger with a bun. You know, yeah. By the time the staff realized it, he had already passed out. It took 45 seconds for him to pass out. They did CPR, didn't work because they couldn't get both of the airways open. And he went to when the paramedics came, he was already blue. He never regained consciousness. He was in the hospital for 3 days where they put them on all sorts of machines. And by the way, if you lose air for a while, one of the things that happens is you have damage to your brain. One of the things that then happens is you have seizures. And that continues to cause damage to your brain. So it's never a good sign. And fortunately, after 3 days, finally, my parents said, you know, he was gone. He was gone way, way before that. He never came back. And, you know, you can check. You can touch someone and see if they move. And, you know, you can check for little signs that wasn't there. But it took 45 seconds. So, if you have trouble scarfing and not chewing, if somebody else does, just be aware how fast and how easy it can happen. And the staff didn't try to hurt my brother. They just didn't realize how quickly that emergency could happen and how he wouldn't be able to let them know. He scarfed the food, and then he couldn't get his breath, and he couldn't let people know. And then he was gone. And so when I look at this, you know, and I start coughing because I'm laughing and drinking, I'm aware that I shouldn't run to the bathroom to try to cough, because what if I can't get my breath? I'll be by myself in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I can't get my breath, I want one of you to be able to dial 911. Okay? So if you know, have a situation like that, try to help someone or help yourself by not being by yourself in an isolated place. And I think naturally, any of us, when we get embarrassed when you're coughing or when you, you know, the universal sign for that is this, so people know you're choking. Okay, that helps sometimes if you can't say anything. Just don't leave people unattended, you know.
Recently that happened to me. Last weekend, I was drinking some water. Me and my husband, we buy water flavored packets.
Yeah.
And I had this pink lemonade flavor. And I have allergies and I have asthma, right? And
Yeah.
so I was drinking this, and all of a sudden, I started choking, and I could talk, and I kept saying 911. He didn't realize.
Yeah.
I don't think he realized I was serious. Call 911. I got scared. Thank God. At some point, I never passed out.
Yeah.
At some point, he told me he was gonna wait till I passed out because he wasn't sure what to do. And here's one thing he was scared of. He was afraid that if he let go of me, because he kept trying to push my chest like this, if he let go of me and went to the phone, something terrible would happen. Thank God, eventually the problem resolved itself. But I told him, next time that happens, run to the phone, dial 911, leave it off the hook. Eventually, they'll figure out nobody's on the other end. We need to check this out because we don't know what it is.
Exactly.
So, anytime you're in a situation that you don't know what to do or you can't do anything else, dial 911 and leave it off the hook.
There you go. And, you know, since then, I took a CPR, first aid, AED, which is the defibrillator. Nice machine to use, by the way, very easy. Now, understand, this is me learning how to do things, right? The defibrillator is a box like this. It's at airports, hospitals, different places, right?
Yeah.
And the instructor's like, okay, now, you know, plug this in. You know what I'm looking for, a plug, an outlet, right? No, there's a plug on the other side of the machine that you hook this up so it starts running. Okay, honestly, in an emergency, I'm gonna have to look for an outlet. I should have known, but I didn't. Of course, at the same time, I'm doing the CPR on a baby. Doing little chest compressions. And then they say, turn the baby over. Okay, it's a mannequin. Turn the baby over, hit the baby's head, popped out, there. Then the chest pops out, goes there. I am left with a butt, arms, and legs. And the instructor goes, been a while since you've been around a baby? I go, yeah, that's the story I'm going with. There's still a lot to learn no matter what. But, good to know these things. So, even though it's a very sad thing about my brother, and I will always miss him, there are legacies and there are memories, and you just always want someone to be remembered and to have been loved in their life. And, it's a nice thing to remember a lot of things with him. And some of you have heard the stories over the years. And his life was never very easy. I wish it was. It just wasn't. But, he had me and my sister and a number of other people. And, we had him with all of all of the extra stuff. But when someone smiles and is excited every time you come into a room, I don't know if you can beat that. I don't know if there is a nicer gift that you can give a person than to smile and just say, it's so good that you're here, And the other thing that didn't hurt is his entire life, he used to love to say my name. So sometimes he'd say my name like 100 times in one day. It would be Kathryn, and then it would be sister. Kathryn, and then sister. So all these people that had never met me, when they met me, they're like, oh my God, you're famous here. He says your name everywhere, every day. You're the Kathryn, his sister? And I'm like, yes. There are people that are like, we didn't even know you existed. We've never seen you. I thought, oh yes, I do. So it's always nice to have that. And may I make a suggestion? In your lives, the people that are important to you, make sure that you smile and light up when they're in the room, and that you let them know that they're special and important to you. Because I think it makes a huge difference in each of our lives. And I want to thank you guys for being here. I made it without falling. Yes!
Kathryn,
Yes.
when I went to visit my dad at the morning care home that he's at, it took me the first 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It hurts me a lot, but
Yes.
but a lot of things I overcame because you gave me advice, then Amy gave me advice, then Aaron, and then all the
Cool.
other people.
That's cool.
Because I found out this is the month that he was paralyzed.
Awesome. Now, Paula, you had something you wanted to share? And Suzanne? Come on up. Come on up together. Come on.
I'm used to.
You afraid of each other? Come on.
Okay.
Dang, we're over time.
Okay.
It's okay.
I could
We
say we
got the
can't
room.
fire you now, so it doesn't
Really,
matter.
we got the room till 3.